called for Rocker to go into an early retirement. And Rocker has begun mandatory psychological testing imposed by Major League Baseball.
John Rocker was once seen as a future superstar, but he was also a bit of a circus act, taunting opponents, jawing at fans, and showing off after big strikeouts. His arrogance didn't just steal the spotlight, it became the very thing that derailed his career. Before we dive in any further, please subscribe to the channel. In late 1999, while shining as a relief pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, Rocker gave an interview to Sports Illustrated that changed everything. He made some offensive and hateful comments about New York City and immigrants when asked if he'd ever play for the Yankees or Mets. His words sparked outrage and cast a shadow over his career. In late 1999, while playing as a standout relief pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, Rocker gave a now infamous interview to Sports Illustrated that would define his legacy for all the wrong reasons. When asked if he'd ever consider playing for a New York team, his response was shockingly offensive. He said he'd rather retire than play for the Yankees or Mets, calling New York the most hectic, nerve-wracking city. He went on to insult the city and its residents, ranting about having to take the 7 train to the ballpark, comparing it to a ride through Beirut. His words were filled with hateful stereotypes as he described the people he imagined he'd see on the subway, mocking a kid with purple hair, a person with AIDS, a recently released prisoner, and a young mother with multiple kids. He then took aim at the city's immigrant population, saying the thing he hated most about New York was the foreigners. In a truly disturbing rant, Rocker complained that you could walk a whole block in Times Square without hearing English and singled out various ethnic groups: Asians, Koreans, Vietnamese, Indians, Russians, and Latinos, wondering aloud, how the hell did they get in this country? Rocker didn't stop there. He turned his fury toward the New York Mets and their fans, painting a brutal picture of the hostility he felt playing in New York. According to him, Mets fans were the worst, accusing them of spitting at him, throwing bottles, batteries, and even quarters at him, all while hurling vulgar insults about his mother. He labeled them degenerates and claimed their behavior only proved him right. The interview took place while Rocker was driving to a speaking engagement in Atlanta with Sports Illustrated reporter Jeff Pearlman. Pearlman painted an ugly picture of Rocker's behavior during their time together. Rocker was not just spewing insults during the interview, he also spat on a toll machine and mocked Asian women they saw along the way. And as if that wasn't enough, Rocker made a blatantly racist comment about his own teammate, Randall Simon, calling him a fat monkey. Rocker's words caused a firestorm, and he quickly found himself in hot water. Although he later apologized after speaking with Braves legend Hank Aaron and former Atlanta Mayor Andrew Young, the damage was done. Rocker's apology didn't stop him from making more controversial remarks in the future either. Major League Baseball Commissioner Bud Selig stepped in, suspending Rocker without pay for the rest of spring training and the first 28 games of the 2000 season. On appeal, his suspension was reduced to 14 games, though he was still banned from spring training. Despite the punishment, Rocker's career would never be the same, his name forever tied to this ugly chapter. In 2002, while playing for the Texas Rangers, Rocker found himself back in the national spotlight for all the wrong reasons. This time, it was for making offensive slurs toward customers at a restaurant in Dallas. The restaurant was in Oak Lawn, a neighborhood known for its large LGBTQ+ community. Once again, Rocker's words caused an uproar, reinforcing his growing reputation as someone who just couldn't keep his offensive opinions to himself. A few years later, in 2006, Rocker stirred up more controversy when he came to the defense of Ozzie Guillen, his former teammate and then manager of the Chicago White Sox. Guillen had called a sports columnist, Jay Mariotti, a fag, which led to heavy criticism. Guillen, who is from Venezuela, claimed the term wasn't meant to be offensive in his culture, explaining that it was used to question someone's courage rather than their sexual orientation. Rocker quickly jumped in to support Guillen, telling the Chicago Tribune, "This is a free country. If he wants to use a lewd term, he should be able to use a lewd term. Can't you use a lewd term in America if you want?" Rocker didn't stop there. He took a swipe at Bud Selig, the commissioner of Major League Baseball, calling him a scared little man and dismissing the sensitivity training he had been ordered to attend years earlier as a farce. He admitted that when he attended those sessions, he rarely stayed for more than 15 minutes. On top of that, Rocker claimed he never even paid the $500 fine that had been issued to him for his previous remarks, showing no remorse for his actions. Later that same year, in 2006, Rocker gave a more personal interview to the sports blog Deadspin. Alongside his girlfriend at the time, fitness model Alicia Marie, Rocker discussed his Speak English campaign and promoted his upcoming book, Rocker, Scars, and Strikes. He made it clear that the book wasn't about cleaning up his image. In fact, he said it would be filled with what he called more conservative Republican ranting. During the interview, Rocker also lashed out at his former Braves general manager John Schuerholz, calling him a piece of shit, proving that his grudge holding extended beyond the media. As if all that wasn't enough, Rocker later appeared on the reality show Survivor. During an argument with fellow contestant Natalie Anderson, Rocker's temper flared once again, and he snapped at her saying, "If you were a man, I'd knock your teeth out." This outburst was just one more instance of Rocker's long history of saying exactly what he was thinking, no matter how much it got him into trouble. In March 2007, Rocker found himself in hot water once again when he was implicated in a steroid ring that involved Applied Pharmacy located in Mobile, Alabama. At first, Rocker vehemently denied the allegations, insisting that he had never used somatropin, a growth hormone often associated with performance enhancement in sports. However, not long after, a spokesperson for Rocker revealed that he had indeed been prescribed human growth hormone, but this was after undergoing shoulder surgery. Fast forward to December 2011, and Rocker was ready to speak more openly about his past. In an admission that surprised few, he confessed to using steroids during his career. "Yeah, of course I was," he candidly said. "I mean, who wasn't? Let's be honest here. Who wasn't?" His comments sparked quite a bit of conversation in the sports world as they highlighted the widespread issue of performance-enhancing drug use among athletes. Rocker's acknowledgement of his steroid use added another layer to his already complicated legacy as he reflected on a career that was marred by controversies both on and off the field. It seemed that Rocker's journey in baseball was not only about his talent, but also about the choices he made and the challenges he faced throughout his time in the sport. In high school, John Rocker was already making waves as a talented pitcher for First Presbyterian Day School in Macon, Georgia. His pitching skills were hard to ignore, especially after he threw an impressive 3 no-hitters during his high school career. Colleges took notice, and Rocker initially committed to play baseball for the Georgia Bulldogs, setting the stage for what many thought would be a promising career. But instead of heading to college, Rocker's path shifted when the Atlanta Braves selected him in the 18th round of the 1993 MLB draft, taking him 516th overall. It was the beginning of his journey into professional baseball. Rocker's baseball journey was one of immense talent overshadowed by off-field controversies. He broke into the majors with the Atlanta Braves in 1998, posting an impressive 2.13 ERA in 38 innings. By 1999, after taking over as the Braves' closer, Rocker notched 38 saves and seemed destined for stardom. However, in 2000, his behavior started to overshadow his talent. After threatening a reporter, Rocker faced a demotion and was relentlessly taunted by fans. His performance began to decline, and by 2001, the Braves traded him to the Cleveland Indians. His struggles followed him, and after brief stints with the Indians, Texas Rangers, and Tampa Bay Devil Rays, his career fizzled out by 2005. Off the field, Rocker's controversial comments about New York City made headlines and even inspired parodies in pop culture, including on MTV's Celebrity Deathmatch and the HBO series Eastbound and Down. He briefly ventured into acting and reality TV, appearing in The Greenskeeper and Survivor, but his reputation always followed him. Though Rocker's career began with promise, his downfall serves as a reminder that raw talent isn't always enough to overcome poor behavior. Despite flashes of brilliance, his legacy remains tainted by the controversies that defined his time in baseball and beyond. That is it for this one. But if you happen to like MLB Legends, make sure to check out our latest videos on our channel, Baseball Icons. I'm sure you will love it. Oh, and while you are at it, drop a comment telling us who to cover next, and don't forget to subscribe.